Hi everybody. So today I'll teach you how to play the Scotch opening. Three reasons why this is my favorite opening. Number one, it is beginner friendly. Number two, it is very direct. And number three, I got my FIDE rating by playing this opening. Also, a lot of my students have got that FIDE rating by playing this opening. So let's start. So it is an opening for white. It starts with pawn to e4, pawn to e5, controlling the center. Now knight to f3, knight to c6, and here we play pawn to d4. Now, the natural choice for black is to take the pawn, we take it back with our knight. If we don't take back, and if we play bishop c4, then this transposes to Scotch gambit. So we don't want to look into Scotch gambit. I'll make a separate video for Scotch gambit. This one is about Scotch game. So after e takes d4, knight takes d4, there are multiple options for black like bishop to c5, which is the main line, knight to f6. Then there is queen h4, where we have a gambit variation. And one more is bishop to b4 check. So let's take a look at knight to f6 first. So what is the idea? Idea is it hits our pawn on e4. So to defend the pawn, we use another knight to c3. Now, black plays bishop to b4, pinning the knight. The idea is to take this pawn. Now, if we play bishop to d3, we can just take our knight. So this is not a good move. Bishop g5, maybe we can play bishop g5, but the best move over here is knight takes on c6. Now black takes with the b pawn. Obviously, you should capture towards the center in the opening. White goes bishop to d3. Black plays d5. We take this, and here black plays a smart move, which is castle. Here, white should not be greedy and we should not take this pawn, because if we take it, then there is rook e8 check. Then if we play bishop to e2, black has queen to e7, and it even strengthens the pin. And now if white castles, black can simply take the knight, white takes the pawn, and queen takes e2. We lose our bishop. So instead, don't take the pawn. If they castle, we also castle. If they take on d5, from this position, we can continue with bishop g5 or queen f3. And as you can see, it is an open position. We have bishops, even black has bishops, and I don't see any difficulty for white in this position. The rooks can be developed easily, the queen can be developed easily, and this is a good position for white. All right, let's take a look at the main line, which is after knight takes d4, bishop to c5, attacking the knight. Now, according to opening principles, we should develop our pieces on every move. So here, to defend the knight, instead of pushing the pawn, we use a piece by moving the bishop to e3. Now, the knight has two defenders and black is attacking using two attackers. Now, black increases the pressure by playing queen to f6, attacking the knight. Now, if we move the knight, bishop takes bishop, and also the queen can take on b2, and this is not a good position for white. So instead, we should protect the knight. We should add one more defender. So white plays pawn to c3. Now, knight to e7. Black develops his other knight. So as white, we should play bishop to c4, attacking the weakest square, which is f7. Right now, it is defended by the queen, but in the opening, f7 is considered to be the weakest square because it is only defended by the king. Bishop c4, they can play knight e5, attacking the bishop. And because it is an open position, bishops are better than knights. So black wants to trade their knight for our bishop. We should avoid this trade and move the bishop back to e2. Black castles. We also castle. If they play knight to c6, we can play knight a3, knight c2. Also, knight d2 is an option. Let's say knight e3. Pawn d6, we can play knight c2. And here, as you can see, both the bishops are developed. Both the knights are developed. One of the knight is on the central square d4. And later you can also push pawn to f4 if you want to start a king side attack. And this is a good position for white, slightly good for white. Let's move on to the next variation. The next variation is bishop to b4 check. According to the opening principles, even if we see a check, we should not play it because it can be easily blocked and your piece can be easily attacked. So for example, here we play pawn to c3. The bishop has to now move back and c5 is the only good square. If they go bishop c5, we have bishop e3. They can go queen f6. Now this is just like the previous variation, but white has an extra tempo. After this, you can play bishop to c4 and the game goes on. White has no problem in the game and white is up a tempo. Now, the last and very important variation, which is queen to h4. Queen attacks the pawn on e4. To defend, we develop the knight to c3. Bishop to b4. The idea is pinning the knight so that the queen can take the pawn. So how do we avoid this? If we play bishop to d3, it hangs the knight. We can play queen d3, but again, it is not a good idea to develop your major pieces early on in the game. So the move here for white is bishop to e2. Yes, white sacrifices this pawn. Now, if bishop takes knight, we have pawn takes bishop. If queen takes e4, we have knight to b5. Now, black cannot play queen to g2 because if black does, then bishop to f3, queen has to move back and we simply take on c7 doing a fork and we get the rook. So instead of queen to g2, black plays king to d8 and white castles over here. Okay. So white is a pawn down, but has an active knight, active bishop. White king is castled, black king is still in the center. So in compensation for a pawn and this bad structure, white has better development. So it has a dynamic advantage. We can play rook to e1 next move and the king and the black king is stuck in the center for a long time and we can use all the minor pieces and the major pieces and try to attack the black king. These rooks cannot be connected so easily. It is not easy to develop the bishop as well as the knight also. So hence this position is slightly better for white with a lot of attacking chances. Black will have to face a lot of difficulty to reach the middle game and to connect the rooks also. So with this, we have seen all the variations of Scotch game. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.